Hello, Jade Molina here with Elite Athletics. To start off our workout today, what we're going to do is begin with what we call a dynamic warm-up. This warm-up is known as the Daily Dozen because it's 12 exercises that you can do every time you get ready to do your workout. It is broken up into 3 parts. First part is exercises 1 through 4 are what we call the upper body mobility prep. Exercises 5 through 9 are going to be the lower body mobility prep, and then exercises 10, 11, and 12 are going to be what are called general movement prep. This helps mobility to the body, it warms the body up, it excites your nervous system, it gets you ready to do dynamic activity. So the Daily Dozen is how we'll start every day. All right, this is arm circles forward. You want to make sure that your elbows are fully extended and that you're giving a big range of motion at the shoulder joint. Remember, we want to loosen up the shoulder joint. We want to get blood flow to it. So you got to make sure you're over-exaggerating the arm flow. One of the things that people do wrong in this exercise is they bend their elbows and they do mini arm circles. Don't want to do that. This is a full range of motion, elbows fully extended, both moving forward, and then we will move backward. This is arm circles backwards. Same posture that we did with arm circles forward, but now we're going into backwards motion because your shoulder moves forward and backward. The exercise is done very similar to the arms forward. You're just now moving in a backwards circular motion. Once again, a common mistake with this exercise is that people bend their elbows and they turn it into a mini arm circle. We want to take the shoulder through the full range of motion. So make sure your arms stay straight and make sure that you stay fluid with the movement. This is arm over unders. We also want to keep a tall posture with this exercise, making sure that we are stretching out our chest and our upper back. As you swing your arms forward, you're loosening up your upper back. As you swing your arms backward, you're loosening up your chest. You want to make sure you're fluid with this exercise. A lot of people do this exercise and they're very rigid, and it's almost like they're giving somebody a bear hug. So make sure that you move fluidly, staying nice and tall, arms fully extended. It's what's going to warm you up best during this exercise. Now what we're going to do are trunk rotations. Trunk rotations are basically your arms extended out to your sides, elbows fully extended, and what you're going to do is you're going to rotate from side to side, rotating your upper body, but one thing that you want to do is you want to rotate and pivot on one foot, rotating your lower body as well. You can see how as I rotate one direction, my whole body moves and I pivot almost like a baseball player would swing a baseball bat. That helps you rotate in and out of your hips. So you're getting upper body rotation and lower body rotation. One thing that people do is they keep their feet fixed on the ground and they only rotate their upper body. And then what that does is it puts all the rotation in the lower back. We want to get total body movement from side to side, arms fully extended. Make sure your posture is tall and move fluidly. Now what we're going to do is the prisoner squat. The prisoner squat, from a standing position, you put your hands on top or slightly behind the back of your head and then move down into a squatting position. One thing you want to make sure you do here is that you keep your feet straight and lined up, shoulder width apart. Keep your knees lined up over your toes. Sit back, squat, and then as you drive up, drive through your heels and squeeze your glutes at the top. A common mistake with squatting is that people will squat with their feet slightly rotated out or even excessively rotated out, and when they go in the downward movement, they'll actually shift their body weight forward, lifting their heels. You don't want to do this because what happens when you lift your heels is all your body weight shifts right into your knee joint, and we don't want to do that. We want to keep the weight loaded in the gluteal muscles and in the thigh muscles. So make sure that your feet stay straight, make sure that you keep your knees lined up over your toes, stay fluid with your movement, and stay tall. Okay, what we're going to do now is the alternating side lunge. Holding your hands right about chest height, you want to step out to one direction, and what you'll do is you'll actually go into a knee bend position, as if you were doing a squat. The feet need to stay straight, and the trail leg, the leg that is staying straight, needs to actually stay straight. You should not bend it. What you're doing is you're actually stretching your groin muscle, and you're strengthening the muscle that's being loaded on the one side that you're squatting on. A common mistake with this exercise is that people want to let their foot roll during the movement, and then what they also want to do is bend the trail leg. Don't bend the trail leg. It actually puts a lot of stress in the knee when you bend it. Make sure you keep a good posture while doing this, keep your feet flat on the ground, and stay fluid with your movement. Next exercise is the alternating quad stretch. From a standing position, you lift one foot up, going behind your back, reach back with either one or both hands, and hold the stretch for either 2 to 3 seconds. Let the foot go and then repeat on the other side. You're also working balance here as much as you're doing stretching. One common mistake that people have here is as they grab their foot, they actually lean forward and or they arch their back. You want to keep a nice tall posture, stay tall and stay fluid. Now what we're going to do is the alternating reverse lunge with upper body rotation. From a standing position, you're going to extend both arms out in front of your chest. As you step back with one leg, your forward foot is going to stay flat on the ground and your knee stays over your toe. Once you are into the lunge position, you'll then rotate in the direction of the foot that is forward. For example, if your left foot is forward, you will then rotate your upper body left. Once you've rotated, you come back to neutral, and then you will stand up and repeat the movement. A common mistake in this exercise is that people try to do the lunging backwards and the upper body movement simultaneously at the same time, throwing them off balance. They also do not extend their arms straight out in front of themselves. Make sure the arms are fully extended, make sure it's a segmented movement, but make sure you also move fluidly through the movement. Now the next exercise is the Spider-Man with reach back. The Spider-Man is an exercise named after Spider-Man and the way he climbs up walls. So from a standing position, what you're going to do is you're going to step out with your right foot as far as you can. That leaves your back leg fully extended as you go down towards the ground. I will then take my right hand, put it around my ear, and drive my right elbow down to my instep as far as I can get it, really loosening up my hip complex. Once I've held that exercise for 2 seconds, I will then reach back towards the sky, fully extending my arm, holding for 2 seconds, and then repeating for the prescribed number of repetitions. A common mistake with this exercise is that when people step out with the forward foot, they don't step out far enough. So they end up trying to do the exercise while they're on the toe of their foot. What this does is it drives all the body weight into that knee and puts stress in the knee. Also, what people do is when they reach back, they do not extend their arms, squeezing their upper back muscles together. They just use their elbow. Make sure that you fully extend, make sure that you fully step out with the forward foot and go through the full range of motion. Stay fluid and make sure you repeat the exercise for the prescribed number of repetitions. Okay, now what we're going to do are what are called rhythm jumps. Starting from a standing position, you're going to actually take your arms and put them back behind your body with a bend in your elbow. From that position, you're going to jump. Once you get into the air, as you begin to descend back to the ground, you're going to actually throw your arms back upon contact of your foot, and then you're going to do another bounce and then jump again. You're trying to keep in rhythm and stay fluid. A common mistake in this exercise is that people fight themselves as they jump upward. So instead of throwing their arms up as they jump, they actually push their arms down and try to jump simultaneously, so ultimately they're fighting themselves. Another common mistake in this exercise is that people allow their knees to cave in, so the knees move inward upon ground contact. Keep your feet straight, your knees over your toes, and make sure your arms go upward when you jump upward. Repeat this for the prescribed number of repetitions. The next exercise is what we call the seal clap. Seal claps are just a modification to the old school jumping jack. What you're going to do from a standing position is have your feet together and your arms together, but your arms are going to be fully extended out in front of you. When you go on your first repetition, you're going to throw your arms straight out to the side of you, keeping your arms extended, while simultaneously spreading your feet apart, keeping your feet straight. Once you've made contact with the ground, you jump together, bringing your hands together and your feet together. What you're actually working here is you're still stretching out your chest and your upper back. As your arms open up, you stretch your chest. As they come together, you stretch your upper back. As your feet move in and out, you're starting to loosen your hips up and you're moving through a dynamic activity. A common mistake with the seal clap is that people actually will bend their elbows and not take their arms fully out to their side. Another common mistake is a rhythm gets off. The common mistake is that as the arms go outward, the feet come inward. That is out of rhythm. You want to be in rhythm. Both go out at the same time, both come in at the same time. Now what we're going to do is the LEFT drill, L-E-F-T. It stands for Lower Extremity Functional Test. Oftentimes this is used in a test, but we're going to use it as part of our warm-up today. What we're going to do here is we're going to start with 2 points of reference, and you want to set those 2 points of reference up at least 10 yards apart. What you're seeing here on the video is these lines are 5 yards apart, just so we can show you the exercise. Starting on one line, you're going to sprint across to the other line. Decelerate, stop, and then backpedal to where you started. Immediately, you will transition into a side shuffle. You'll side shuffle across, then you'll side shuffle back. Then you will immediately shift into what's called a crossover run. You will crossover run across, crossover run back, and then immediately shift into a sprint across to your finish line, and come to a complete stop, decelerating and controlling your body. This is Jade Molina with Elite Athletics. See you next time on ProfessorIt.com.